All right, everyone, welcome to the HOF YouTube channel. Today we will be doing our NFL futures picks and predictions, and you guys can be expecting more HOF picks throughout the season for each NFL week. But to start off, we're going to do some futures, getting ready for NFL season. Brian, who do you have to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, man. Excited for NFL season. I think we got a lot of value on the board here looking at futures. For the Super Bowl winner, personally, I don't think anybody is challenging the Eagles again this year. I think they're going back to back at plus 700. It's not disrespectful, but I think it's good value for the reigning champs. I mean, they basically have the same personnel coming back. Jalen Hurts is the guy. They have a decently young team. Defense is, top of the league once again. I think, yeah, the values there in terms of strength of schedule. They do have a little bit of a more challenging schedule. However, I believe they did last year as well, and I don't see anybody stopping this team once again. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are a solid pick. I will say it's so hard to go back to back just because of luck, injuries, things like that, but I still think it's a good pick. I'm going to go with the Bills. I feel like it could be their year. Josh Allen in his prime. He's got great receiving options that are all entering their primes as well. I think Kincaid's around 25, Shakir as well. And then also they've re-signed key players on the defensive end too. I think there's still a little question marks around the safety position, but overall, I feel like this is their time to get past the Chiefs, and then if they can do that, then they'll win it all. So I'm gonna go with the Bills at plus 700. But now let's go to some more interesting ones. I want to hear your long shot, a value one, Brian.
Yeah, for my value Super Bowl winner, I have to go with the Detroit Lions. I mean, we saw what they did last year. That offense, when all healthy, they're juggernauts. Nobody's stopping them. They scored the most points per game in the league, I believe, last year. Jared Goff, regular season merchant. He's like that. We'll see. That's kind of the question mark if he can perform in the playoffs, but also we'll see how healthy the defense stays. Obviously, that was a big part of their eventual downfall last year, in my opinion. Injuries kind of really took them apart, as well as the offensive and defensive coordinators. Those obviously they both left, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. Big part of the game planning. However, the personnel is all the same, and then you got the man Dan Campbell running the show. I think that's good value there. They start off real hot. I see them, doing well again this year. So at plus 1100, I think that's good value, and it could be the Lions' year this year.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I think, like you said, getting someone like Hutchinson back will be a big addition too. But for me, I'm going a little bit more risky, I guess you could say, with the Texans at plus 2,500. I think everyone knows the Texans are a pretty solid team. You have CJ Stroud going into his third year, who's really impressed me a lot. Collins will be back healthy as well too. And I think they're solid on the defensive side. So I think everyone knows the Texans will be a team that's pushing for the playoffs. And I feel like this could be their year to explode and really show that upside and make a push. So I think they could surprise some people. And that's my value long shot there for the Super Bowl winner. So next, Brian, we have some player awards: MVP, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year. Who do you have for MVP?
For MVP, I got Lamar Jackson. I mean, not the most exciting pick, but I believe he is the favorite at plus 550. Dual threat. We all know what he's capable of. I think Ravens are gonna do extremely well this year. And Lamar's their captain, so that's who I'm going with.
I like the pick. I think it's a very strong one. I'm going with Joe Burrow though at plus 600. I think the Bengals are a bit of a mess, but if there's one thing we know with the Bengals, the ball's going to be in Joe Burrow's hand, and he's going to be throwing it downfield. So
Mhm.
I really like his chances. I think he's got to come up with big plays for them to be successful. So he's going to have opportunities to make those, and he's got a great receiving core as well too. So yeah, I think it's Burrow's year to win that MVP. Moving
Yeah.
on to offensive rookie of the year now. What have you got for us?
From what I've seen thus far, I really like Matthew Golden on the Packers, wide receiver out of Texas. First wide receiver that the Packers have drafted in the first round in, I think, decades, honestly. But he's looking sharp. He did really well at Texas, and I think he pairs up well with Jordan Love. And I could see him going for 1,000 yards this year.
But for my offensive rookie of the year, I'm going a bit more risky, I guess you could say, at plus 5,000 with Shador Sanders. I know it's crazy right now because I think they probably have him third on the depth chart, behind Pickett, behind Flacco. But I just feel like with the way the Browns are set up this year, it's going to be one of these situations. Flacco may play the first two games. As soon as that goes poorly, Pickett will come and play a game or two. And then eventually, I think with a good chunk of the season left, it'll be put to Shador. And as we've seen in preseason, he performed really well. This was a guy with top 10 potential in the draft. I think people forget that. He slipped massively, um, for kind of, I think, ridiculous reasons. But this is a guy with loads of potential and who will get a good chunk of the season, and I think will surprise people. It's the ultimate underdog story, and why I'm taking him for offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
And yeah, that leaves us with our final one, defensive player of the year. Brian, who do you have?
I got my guy TJ Watt. He's been improving vastly every single year. He's just a machine on the edge. Every offensive line's nightmare. Gets to the QB, gets pressure on him, if not a sack, consistently. Needs to be double teamed. Yeah, he's just the man.
I like it. I'm going with another kind of experienced player in Miles Garrett at plus 850. Um, I think Garrett's just kind of in that, he's 29 right now, so he's probably in the latter years of his prime, but it's just been so consistent. I think he was third last year in Defensive Player of the Year voting, won the year before. In order for the Browns to have any sort of success, it's going to have to come from the defensive side first, which he leads. So, yeah, I'm just looking at him to continue his success, and I feel like at plus 850 for a guy who's been so consistent, it's great value. Moving on to win totals, we are going to do one over, one under. Who's your over, Brian?
My over is the Detroit Lions once again at 10.5 wins as their even line plus 110. I think it's kind of disrespectful for a team that went 15-2 last year in the regular season. Same personnel, the defense should be healthy. This seems like a no-brainer to me. There's no way they don't get 11 wins.
Yeah, no, that is a really good pull actually. I'm going with a bit more of a risky one, and I guess you could question the value here based on the risk. But I had the Patriots over 8.5 wins at plus 115. Last season, I think they had four. They were 4-13, I believe, um, and they lost a ridiculous number of one-score games. I think at least 5 or 6 one-score games. Drake May in his second season now. They've done a fantastic job in the offseason. So, I think this team's going to improve massively. And they have a pretty easy strength of schedule, too.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Moving to your under, Brian, who do you have?
For my under on win total, I got the New York Giants. They were bottom of the barrel last year. I didn't see too many improvements in the offseason coming into this year. They do have Russ at the QB now, which we'll see how that goes. They got neighbors, but I think they have a really tough schedule coming up ahead, and actually the toughest, I believe, in 2025. So it's not going to get much easier for them. I see more pain coming for Giants fans.
Facts, yeah, and I feel like realistically they know they're not going to make the playoffs, and their probably primary focus is really developing Dart, who will start as their second string as well. So, I think they'll prioritize his development over winning games. So I think this is a great pick. I'm going with the Vikings under 9.5 wins, and this may be kind of crazy considering the year they had last year, but JJ McCarthy's in, and this is obviously he was injured last year. Technically, his rookie season. And only three quarterbacks have ever won 10 plus games in their rookie season. So I feel like this is a lot of pressure on him to replicate that. Again, he was injured last year, so he did have a year of learning and kind of being in the organization, which could help. But I still think, it's big shoes to fill, and Sam Darnold may not be like some outstanding quarterback, but he's still a really solid quarterback in the NFL. So yeah, I think that the Vikings will just go slightly under this. All right, Brian. So for our final pick now, Looking for just kind of a random future, anything that you really like. So what's your final
Hmm.
one here?
I'm going kind of big here. I liked Bijan Robinson to lead the NFL in rushing yards this year. That's at plus 1100. In terms of the running back strength of schedule specifically, the Falcons are up there in the top three when it comes to easiest schedules. He's gonna really explode. He's gonna do his thing, and yeah, the value there is unreal.
Yeah, I think also too with Penix being the starter this season too, I think he'll that'll only compound his success. So yeah, it's looking like a really good year for him. For me, I went for comeback player of the year on this one, and I thought it was a pretty obvious pick with Aiden Hutchinson. He actually leads it at plus 270. Had a horrific leg break last season. I think it was week 6, so he's had a good amount of time to recover. It wasn't like something that occurred right at the end of last season. Bone breaks
Hmm.
typically recover better than ligament or tendon tears. And he's also 25, so still like right in that prime of his career. So yeah, I think he's going to have a massive season. I think everyone knows the talent he is, and if he can stay healthy for this year, I think the Pro Bowl has his name written all over it.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, that dude's an animal, man. Like he's got to be doubled almost every play, or else he's getting to the QB.
That wraps up our NFL futures for this week. We'll be back with another NFL futures parlay segment next week, so stay tuned for that. And as you guys know,
Yeah.
we're just 3 weeks out from NFL season, so we will be back very soon with the HOF research as well. Super hyped for that one. So make sure you subscribe and drop a comment of your favorite pick down below in the comments. Cool.
Sweet. Thanks for tuning in, guys.